Link to that will be down below. It does support me,
am I
so
still hurt from the last fight?
any of you are willing to download to try it out, it helps. But biggest thing is your phone will get a lot of usage from playing this game, so taking a little bit of load off your phone is always nice if you're on your PC anyway. So you can have the emulator open while you're doing other stuff on your PC and auto farming hunts.
Oh wait, what did I do? Okay.
So there's all the promotional whatever stuff that I need to get through. Now we are to day 11 for the guide.
Oh man,
so
dude, they're
on day
super.
11,
Like this is not good.
So let me claim these real quick. So we got another UC. Already had her. We're gonna end up doing something with her for lab later, but if you don't have her, it's not a big deal. But she is a optional character to get more progress or more free stuff. So Celine is a fantastic hero for new players. If you get Celine, that's great. So I'm okay with that. It's like I gotta do, but it is what it is. So now, what I have been telling you all to do, if you are not to this portion yet where you have the boxes from the Molagora challenge, then you need to make sure to complete the Molagora challenge, because this will be 7,000 of our crafting materials today. This is a ton, and this is going to be what you use to follow this video. So make sure you get that. Secondly, make sure you are going into crafting materials here and trading in for the highest rarity every single day of each different type. This will give you a bunch of extra crafts for once you get to this part of the video. So make sure you are doing this. This is a do not spend those crafts on other things. One thing that you can do with these crafts is craft lower rarity rings and necklaces and feed them to level up your right side gear, because right side gear charms are the most ridiculous part of this game for new players. I am going to be trying to push Smilegate to give us more as new players, so that way you can make more progression on your account faster. But be sure to trade in for the highest rarity of Golem, trade in for the highest rarity of Wyvern every single day with these until you run out of them. I would save a little bit of one kind, like 40 to 50 of one kind, for requesting catalysts and guilds. You need to know why you request catalyst, or not catalyst, instead of requesting catalyst from guild aid. Do never request catalyst from guild aid. If you do in our guilds, you get kicked immediately.
Are you saying you know the way?
So do not request catalyst from aid. It hurts everyone in the guild. You need to be requesting these from guild. What I'm doing right here, these wyvern claws, you need to be requesting them every single day versus requesting anything else. Requesting runes and all that is not as efficient, and it hurts progress for everyone who's playing in your guild. So you want to make sure that everyone is getting the maximum benefit of being a collective group. So that I talk about that multiple times in the guild videos. If you are trying to understand why you do that and not catalyst. So once you trade in for all of these though, we're going to be sitting at a pretty good amount of crafting that we can do today. So you want to make sure you have gold, and one reason I keep telling you all to keep farming unrecorded history during your new player buff is once you get to this portion, you are going to be needing a lot of charms. So whenever you're farming unrecorded history, you're going to be getting these T44 jobs. These T44 jobs are what you should have been using to upgrade all of your gear up to this point, while saving just about any charm that you get. So you should be feeding these in. Yes, it is expensive on gold, but charms are the biggest gatekeeper in this game, because this going in right now, this game, if you've been playing it for a long time, you already know, but if you are new to the game is a gear gotcha game. Characters in this game are easy to attain, and you will get them over time no matter what. Gear, one, is a complicated system that most people do not understand to the fullest extent that they need to progress their account. Two, there is no pity for gear. There is a semi-pity, which we will talk about, but it does not guarantee you a good piece of gear. It just guarantees you a higher chance of getting a good piece of gear. So there is not, like with characters, there is a character pity. If you use your resources effectively, you will be able to pity and get whatever character you are wanting. But with gear, there is no way to do that. So keep that in mind. This game, you should be looking at it as a gear gotcha. So whenever you're a new player, you shouldn't be summoning every new character you see, even if they're limited or whatever, because the limited characters in this game always come back. So the only character we have that hasn't come back, I think it's Kizuna AI, which is, you can use her, but she is not meta in any way. So that's I think the only character
I thought he was gonna do like some badass like teleport out of there.
If you see a limited unit as a new player, other content creators are going to tell you to pull on them. I'm going to tell you the opposite, because if you try to pull on those characters, you are not going to be able to use them for a long time. But if you are going to pull on them, do your research first to see if you're even going to be able to use them before they come back next year. So like Leon, Landy, if you pull on her now, yes, you could use her somewhat
there.
effectively, but in comparison to if you just waited till next time Landy comes out,
companions.
you will be able to use her to the fullest potential that she is capable of, because she is pretty much reliant on an artifact to be used at the highest level, or she's relying on gear that will take a long time to get. So Landy, if you can use her in a lot of PvE, but this is just an example. When you're watching this, Landy may not be there. Guilty Gear, all these characters, the only one you could use reasonably early is Biken. All the other ones, if you were to pull Elfelt, you're not going to use Elfelt for a very long time. So I'm going over all this again. Those of you that watch my guides every day, they've been following the guides. Gear crafting guides tend to reach way more players than any other video does. So that is why I'm kind of talking about things within the guide for the people who are clicking this that did not watch the beginner guide series. So just bear with me through that. But now we are going to get into the crafting portion. So as a new player, mine and almost everyone else's recommendation is you should be crafting Wyvern first. The reason for crafting Wyvern first is because of the sets that Wyvern gets. It gives crit set, hit set, and sweet set. These are all sets that give you additional stat bonuses. So as a new player, your gear is all going to be lacking, and you're going to be reliant on getting these set bonuses to get the stat requirements to clear content and get into early PvP. The problem, a lot of people say Banshee is okay to farm early on, which it's not terrible, but it is the second best. But the thing with Banshee is if you're trying to do an all counter set style team, the thing with counter set, it gives no stat bonus, as well as lifesteal set. You get no stat bonus from this. So by trying to utilize these two sets, you need very high rolls on this gear to use them effectively. If you do not have good rolls on them, you will be struggling. And the thing with sets with counter set and lifesteal set, both of them are very, if you play counter guide series, so just bear with me. Crafting Wyvern first is because of the sets that Wyvern gives. It gives crit set, hit set, and sweet set. These are all sets that give you additional stat bonuses. So as a new player, your gear is all going to be lacking, and you're going to be reliant on getting these set bonuses to get the stat requirements to clear content and get into early PvP.
Or can I?
The problem, a lot of people say Banshee is okay to farm early on, which it's not terrible, but it is the second best. But the thing with Banshee is if you're trying to do an all counter set style team, the thing with counter set, it gives no stat bonus, as well as lifesteal set. You get no stat bonus from this. So by trying to utilize these two sets, you need very high rolls on this gear to use them effectively. If you do not have good rolls on them, you will be struggling. And the thing with with counter set and lifesteal set, both of them are very, if you play characters like this, they're going to be slower, meaning you are going to be very reliant on your support characters being well geared. So with that in mind, if you're crafting this stuff and your support characters are struggling because you're trying to put them on a counter set with that roll bad, you're not going to have the stat value that you need to keep that character alive versus players who are running higher speed. So the thing is, yes, you can go into a Banshee style way of play, but by doing Wyvern first, you're going to be setting up all your PvE teams more effectively, and you're going to be getting at least a couple staple damage dealer characters geared throughout this, as well as any character that can be put on counter set can be, or almost every character in the game can be put on speed set. Whereas counter set is going to be only usable effectively on a handful of characters. So by doing speed set, you are getting the most value, or Wyvern in general, you're getting the most value as a new player. But with that in mind, a lot of you have pulled ML Landy that are following the guide, and you're going to be wanting to do some Banshee crafts so you can get some counter gear. I completely understand. But for the sake of this guide, what I'm going to be doing is I am using all of my things on Wyvern Claws. A lot of people may disagree with me on this because this is your one chance to get some Hades materials, some A13 materials, hunts that you might not normally farm. You could go ahead and get some of these. And just know, watching this guide, you do not have to spend all your boxes right away. You could just spend a couple to do some early crafts. But for the sake of this, I want to do as much as I can today and show you all my system of doing it. So if you wanted to spend 6 boxes and then maybe save to try to do a couple Katie's crafts, that's fine. So you can try to get a pen set piece out of that or whatever. But for me, for this video, we want as much as we can get. And all of you that are following the guide from this point, after today, all of our accounts are going to look very, very different. This is the point where you're going to be needing to ask questions. If you're having a piece of gear you don't know whether it's worth rolling, this is where the community aspect of the game that I've talked about so much is so important. By joining a Discord or some way Discord's the only thing. Like, if you're not in Discord, you will not enjoy this game to the fullest, because whenever you have a piece of gear, you don't know whether you should roll it or not, and you don't have anyone to go to ask. You can post it in the general chat in here and maybe get some answers, but overall, you're in Discord, you're gonna get probably better answers, to be fair. But the community aspect of this game is so important for players trying to take it seriously and actually enjoy the game to the fullest. But like I said, I'm just going to go ahead and claim this, and here we go. So now we are to the point where we can do a little bit of Banshee, a little bit of Golem, a little bit of Wyvern, and that is going to be it for today. So by doing these crafting, I will give you the basics and kind of explain why we are doing certain things. So getting into this, we are going to go ahead. I will show these substats, and a couple things on a notepad that I got. So let me pull the notepad up real quick, and I need to transfer this over to play capture. So now you can see the notepad a little bit. I didn't finish everything because as I was typing, I was like, I'm going to have to add so much to this that it's just going to get confusing for people. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this from here and then talk about everything. So only T85 gear from Hunt. That is the only pieces you should roll. If you see anything below T85, the T70s, those are not worth putting resources into once you get to this point of the game. If you are past day 10 and have completed the challenge that I have, anytime you get a piece from Hunt, if it's below T85, you should not use it. This is why I recommend pushing straight to Hunt 13. Hunt 13 is easy to clear, easy to make teams for whatever you're going to be farming, especially if you do Wyvern first. So you want to go straight to Hunt 13, so that way you can just avoid the whole T70 gear and below through the entire game. So I heavily push this. You do not want to waste resources trying to upgrade a T70 ring unless it's a free ring the game gives you, like the beginning adventures, path set, and things like that. You can upgrade that because you can use those T70 rings in Next and Hunts. But past that and upgrading those, you do not want to waste any resource as a new player. So now going into T85 gear, we are going to be focusing on purple gear and red gear. That is it. Any blue gear, do not worry about keeping. Blue gear is never worth rolling anymore. I used to tell people you can get some speed out of some blue gear, but to the point that the game is at with the pity crafting system, you do not need to worry about blue gear at all anymore. So now we're going to go into our substat min and max rolls. So with purple and red T85 gear, we're going to be looking at a min roll is 4%, a max roll is 8%, and that is going to be for attack, or hold on, can I zoom in? Okay, hold on, let me zoom in a little bit just to make this a little bit better. I could have just changed the font size. All right, hopefully this is a little bit easier to see. So now 4 to 8% for attack, health, and defense. Our crit chance rolls, min and max, are going to be 3% to 5%. A crit damage piece is going to be 4 to 7. Effectiveness and effect res 4 to 8. And speed is the only one that has a variable in it. If it is a purple piece of gear, it could roll 1 speed, or it could roll 4 speed. A red piece of gear, the minimum speed a red piece of gear can roll is 2. The maximum is 5. But the thing with 5 rolls are they are like 1 in every 2,000 rolls into speed that you get, maybe 1,000. I don't know the exact rates. There is the information somewhere that Epic 7 released, but 5 rolls are very rare. If you get one, that's exciting. So now I showed this is an example of a sword that would be perfect. You're going to be looking at a sword that has speed, attack percent, crit chance, crit damage. If you get a speed set sword with this or a crit set sword with this, that is the piece you are praying that it rolls high from there. And then there are other combinations like this that we will be going over, but I wanted to show one here. This is just a simple, easy one. Another example is a speed set chest, for example, that has HP percent, defense percent, effect res, and speed. That would be perfect for like a Tink or a Soul Weaver character. So now, one thing a lot of players make a mistake on, I'm going to add one more thing to this. On damaged pieces, effectiveness is generally a dead stat. So effectiveness is really only used whenever you are doing PvE, if you're going to be mixing it with crit chance and crit damage on a piece of gear. So if you have effectiveness on a piece of gear and it has attack, crit chance, crit damage, that piece, if it rolls into effectiveness, it's going to pretty much be a dead piece unless you want to try to use it for some PvE. The thing with effectiveness is the only substats you want on them, generally, for 99% of characters, is going to be speed, HP, defense, effectiveness. That is all you want. Those combo of 5 stats, it's going to defense percent, effect res, and speed. that would be the perfect for like a tank or that would be into speed that you get, maybe 1000. I don't know the exact rates. There is the information somewhere that Epic 7 released, but 5 rolls are very, very rare. If you get one, that's exciting. So now I showed this is an example of a sword that would be perfect. You're going to be looking at a sword that has speed, attack percent, crit chance, crit damage. If you get a speed set sword with this or a crit set sword with this, that is the piece you are praying that it rolls high from there. And then there are other combinations like this that we will be going over, but I wanted to show one here. This is like just a simple, easy one. Another example is a speed set chest, for example, that has HP percent, defense percent, effect res, and speed. That would be the perfect for like a tank or a soul weaver character. So now, one thing a lot of players make a mistake on, I'm going to add one more thing to this. On damaged pieces, effectiveness is generally a dead stat. So effectiveness is really only used whenever you are doing PvE, if you're going to be mixing it with crit chance and crit damage on a piece of gear. So if you have effectiveness on a piece of gear and it has attack, crit chance, crit damage, that piece, if it rolls into effectiveness, it's going to pretty much be a dead piece unless you want to try to use it for some PvE. The thing with effectiveness is the only substats you want on them, generally, for 99% of characters, is going to be speed, HP, defense, effectiveness. That is all you want. Those combo of 5 stats, and generally you want at least 10 speed for any piece that you're going to be trying to use effectiveness on for PvP. So that is that. And then next, so effectiveness is really only used whenever you are doing PvE, if you're going to be mixing it with crit chance and crit damage on a piece of gear. So if you have effectiveness on a piece of gear and it has attack, crit chance, crit damage, that piece, if it rolls into effectiveness, it's going to pretty much be a dead piece unless you want to try to use it for some PvE. The thing with effectiveness is the only substats you want on them, generally, for 99% of characters, is going to be speed, HP, defense, effectiveness. That is all you want. Those combo of 5 stats, and generally you want at least 10 speed for any piece that you're going to be trying to use effectiveness on for PvP. So that is that. And then next up's boots. Boots are possibly, if not the most important piece in the game. So boots, speed, main stat. I'm gonna talk about this constantly, even on your counter characters, even on your soul weavers, your tanks. I would say 98% of characters in the game use speed main stat on their boot, no matter what set you're putting them on. If they're on counter, if they're on speed set, if they're on anything, they are going to want speed main stat. So when you see a piece of gear that has flat HP or flat defense main stat on a boot, just trash it. There's one use case for that, and that is flat defense on like a counter arbiter villager, but that is still not very good. I would still put speed set on that. So with that being said, hopefully I covered most things, but if you want in total on your account, you're going to want like 3 to 4 main stat HP percent boots, 3 to 4 defense percent main stat boots, and maybe 10 different attack percent boots. That's it. Of my account that has 200 boots of tier 85 or higher, probably more than that, I only have about that, and I don't even use all of them. So you do not need a ton of attack percent, especially since the beginning of the game we are getting those attack percent attack sets that are going to cover a lot of those needs for a lot of PvE. So that is some general information. Now we can go back to the crafting portion and get moving. So now going into, hopefully I didn't miss anything within that, but going into the crafting portion. This T70 gear, don't craft any of this. You should be using these into the Alchemist Steeple to be converting into the highest rarity. Now, going into chests. Chests are the easiest piece of gear. For damage dealers, there are only 3 substats that you can get that have value. In terms of tanks, okay, so the better way to explain this is chests can only roll into a lower amount of different substats. Chests cannot roll attack percent, flat attack, or flat defense. So that is 3 substats that a chest cannot roll, meaning it is the piece of gear that you are most likely mathematically to get a piece that has all efficient stats on them. So chests will always be the easiest you can do. The hardest left side piece is helmets. Helmets, the only thing they can't roll is flat health. So with helmets, you will be able to get everything on them. It makes them the hardest left side piece of gear to get. So just know helmets will be something that you're going to be struggling on probably for quite a while. Now swords are the second easiest. They're the one in the middle. Swords can outroll defense percent, flat attack, or defense percent, flat attack, or flat defense. So those three substats are not available for swords, making it to where swords can be pretty easy, but not as easy as chests. Chests are just the easiest by far. So now we're going to right side gear. Right side gear is where you are going to struggle, and as a new player, you're going to be doing a lot of your crafts on right side gear at the beginning because we are going to be needing to use conversion boxes. So with conversion boxes, the main things we're going to chase as a new player are going to be crit damage necks, attack percent, rings on speed set, and then speed main stat boots. These boots will probably be highest priority because having 4 boots will allow you to push into content faster. So boots are, I would say, always number 1 priority. Second priority is going to be a combination of these two. Down the road, yes, we're going to need some HP percent main stats. Crit chance is actually the most effective substat, but the problem is getting other gear that lets you capitalize on this is harder. So we will not be focusing crit chance fonts, especially on speed set. Speed set isn't as valuable to go for that. The crit chance fonts are going to be best in value when trying to make a pen set character, a counter character, or destruction set character. Destruction set main stat crit chance is really good for a necklace. So this is the most efficient you can do as you're getting later, but I would not worry about that for now until we stock up on some gear. So other than that, these are going to be used for your left side crafts. We have a sword and a chest we can do today, but one of the biggest things we're going to be needing to do this. So as a new player, most of the gear that you craft is going to get converted. So as you craft a piece of gear, you are going to see it, you're going to judge whether or not it is good. So as you see, this is a flat attack neck. If you see a flat attack neck, you do not want it. Your main focus on necks is going to be HP percent, crit damage, crit chance. And then attack percent is okay. But the thing with flat attack, flat defense, flat HP, whenever you get those kind of pieces, if they do not have speed on them, regardless of the set, you are not going to be interested in it. So this is just a complete trash piece of gear. So as a new player, we're going to be doing this. We're going to be clicking that button and converting them to resources. So with the converted resources, you have 2 ways to spend them. One is going to be by doing equipment conversions. Secondly, we're going to be needing to trade them in for right side charms, especially at first. If you farm some wyvern and have the option to do this, then that is good. 2, you do want to buy all these charms every single week. So as a new player, you're not going to be selling gear at all. You're going to be needing as much gold as possible for every crafting session until you get stabilized after the first month. But for right now, you want to be buying this every single time. So we are going to be putting a lot of resources into crafting our necks and rings at first. We're going to go ahead and put 4K into this of our total materials. And then we are going to talk about the epic craft. That is an option, which is the crafting pity. So one thing real quick is also make sure you are 333 on your thing before you do anything. The gold you save, the higher chance to get usable pieces, and the less crafting materials you have to use for each. This is the most important thing to have 333 in your entire sanctuary, or whatever it's called. So now we're going to go ahead and do a 10 craft. You can do 10 crafts at a time, and whenever you do this, you might want to start with single crafts, because by doing single crafts, it allows you to be a little bit more vigilant, I guess. But so now we are looking at this.
Hello?
Any piece with 2 to 4 speed that is.
What's going on?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
It's shit quality.
Did you plug
Are
something?
you showing this on?
I see a webcam.
Using Discord on my laptop.
Yeah. I see your webcam and you're using your mic on your laptop, aren't you?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Let me. I tuned in your stream. I saw Pokemon. I didn't see Epic 7, but now I see you doing Epic 7, and then I'm watching Deity.
Yeah, I've been variety doing last few days.
Yeah, I tried to do more hardcore, and it's like not really that fun.
Yeah, I felt like I'm gonna keep going on my warrior and my rogue for a while until they die. So I might go another month.
Starting a mage, immediately logged in. It was like 15.